So, back from the physio, and they've given me the okay to start exercising again, so I can actually start using my knee. It turns out what I've got in my knee is like extended ligaments or something, so you can actually push the kneecap left and right, which is causing like aggravation on the tendons. So basically I need to strengthen up all the muscles around the knee to try and keep it more fixed in place. So since getting that news, I've been experimenting with a new workout in the gym just to try and see if there's another approach I could take to this. And I found a workout called StrongLift 5x5. It's a very simple program that can be just done either on its own or as part of an extended workout, and basically gives you kind of your core exercises to gradually get fitter again. StrongLift 5x5, as a summary, is basically 2 different workouts that are done consecutively as workout A and workout B. You do workout A, take a day off, do workout B, take a day off, and you rinse and repeat, and you just keep going. Now within that, you've got 2 sets of exercises for each workout. Workout A is squats, bench press, barbell row, and workout B is squat, overhead press, and deadlift. Now you squat every single day because basically you're trying to work out your legs as much as your upper body to give a more balanced workout. I know a lot of people will just tend to focus too much on upper body or do legs but not do enough of it. So as the name suggests, for every single exercise you do 5x5, 5 sets of 5 reps, and that way every single muscle group is at least getting hit for 25 reps every single week, either 25 or 50 alternating weeks. And then for your squats, you're hitting 75 good quality squats every single week, which is more than about 90% of the population does. Now with that, once you've completed an exercise and you've not failed any of the reps, next time you come back to do that exercise, you add on 2.5 kilograms. And this just keeps building up, so you're gradually increasing your strength, getting stronger, lifting heavier and heavier weight until you get to a point where you either can't complete it or you plateau and you found that is the maximum you can lift. Once you get to a point of failure, so going more than you can physically take on, you then cut it back. You fail that twice, you cut it back by 10% of the weight, and that allows, although you're still putting yourself under load, it allows your body to take that a little more time to recover. And then when you get back up to that weight, your body should be hopefully more rested, it's adapted to the load it's under, and should be able to break through that threshold or that plateau. Now this is very useful because it stops you from just sticking to the same weight week in and week out and not really causing any need for further adaptations to the body. So in this video I'm really just going to give a quick snapshot review of how I've been finding this workout so far. Maybe some good, balance it with some bad, see how we get on. So we'll start with the disadvantages first because, well, that's always the negative side. So starting off, it's quite a condensed program. So you're only really utilizing 5 exercises, which, although yes, it's good and they cover main body parts, it does leave other body parts not being worked either as hard or not worked out at all. So there's certain points that don't get used and certain movements within the body. So for instance, squats, yes, it's very good for legs, but it focuses mostly on the quads. You still need to have your hamstrings and your glutes included somewhere, which might require more focused assistant exercises to go along with this. All the exercises are also very linear, so you're not getting any cross motion, you're not getting anything like lunges that work the hip flexors or any of those other sort of joints around. I'm not any sort of physio or biologist of any means, so a lot of this will probably most likely sound quite basic. The second disadvantage is it's not quite strength and it's not quite hypertrophy, which is what you need to build more muscle. It is a nice middle ground which allows you to slowly increase your strength while also allowing your body to go under a little bit of hypertrophy so that it can adapt to those strength gains. So you're building a little bit of muscle and building a little bit of strength, but for this is very much almost a beginner's workout, because if you're getting to the elite side of strength, you need to be focusing on your single reps or reps of 3, really lowering that down, so you're putting your everything into a single movement. And then for hypertrophy, it's time under tension. So if you're wanting to build more muscle and you're wanting to build it quickly, you need to be causing your muscles to undergo heavy loads under an extended period of time. And doing 5 reps isn't going to necessarily give you that amount of time. You're looking more at the 8 to 12 range, or even beyond if you really want to. And that'll cause you to rapidly create more muscle tears, which will then create more muscle fibers. So this doesn't really sway one way or the other. It is a nice middle ground, but sometimes you do need to go to either say like an 8x8, a 10x10 to develop more muscle, or go the other way for either your 1 rep max or sets of 3, so that you can develop your strength more. Now on the plus side, so we're going on to positives now for this, it is a very nice simple program. It's very easy to keep going with, very easy to keep in your mind. You're not having to overthink. You can just go to the gym and you know you only have to do 3 exercises and then you're out of there. It's also very useful because there's an app that comes with it that you can use to track each set you've done, each repetition, the time for rest in between, what your weights will be for that workout, and really takes all of the thinking out of it, so it creates as little hassle as possible. The other good thing about it is because you know what the 3 exercises are, if you then want to add in assistant lifts around that, it gives you your base for a workout to then work around. The other advantage to this is you know that for every single session you're going to hit all your major muscle groups. Now that means that you'll be able to develop your strength more, and you won't have to worry about overdoing it in one area. You see a lot of guys come out with either twig legs or massive arms but no body, or they come out with a massive chest and no back, so they end up rounding and very slowly becoming deformed. This allows you to keep your body all in unison and all in proportion with each other, which creates a better aesthetic at the end of the day. The other positive, and probably main positive for myself, is I'm really bad at plateauing. So once I get up to a certain weight, especially in squats, that's just the weight I do for weeks or months on end with no improvement, because the body gets used to lifting that weight. And yes, it might feel heavy, but it will always feel heavy until you try and boost that weight, so that your body then adapts to heavier weight, making that original heaviest weight feel lighter in comparison. Now this is a great one for trying to prevent you from getting to a plateau, sticking there and then making it a routine. Basically you keep going until you fail 1 rep, and then you cut it back by 10%, and that allows you to come back. Yes, you're still under tension, but as I said earlier, it allows your body to recover and adapt, so that when you go back, you've had that adaptation. Your body knows how much that weight feels like now, and you know mentally what you need to do to get through it. And the idea is you should really be able to hit through that. Yes, sometimes you will need to go back and keep going in circles, but every time you're punching into it, you're pushing that plateau or that threshold further and further down the field, so you're getting more and more heavier weights underneath that before you get to your next failure. So it's all about cycling, almost like a car wheel. If it's stationary at a point, it's not going anywhere, but every time that wheel does a rotation, it's rotating this way, it's getting the car further to its destination. So it's all that cyclical, and a lot of the time, especially unless like you're some sort of elite athlete who takes all their time of the day to exercise and work out and focus on them, 90% of the time you're knackered and you're busy working on the rest of your life the rest of the time, or your 9 to 5 basically. So recovery time, you might not be able to afford to sleep 9 to 10 hours a night. You might only get 6 or 7 hours, and this just allows you to come back and force more rest into the muscles and allow it to reheal, readapt and keep going, which I personally will find very, very useful. So my recommendations for this workout moving forward is, one, it is fantastic as a beginner, especially because it starts the weights off light for you. It allows you to focus more on getting the technique correct and not overdoing it and causing injury. And then because you're perfecting your technique, means that as you get to the heavier weights, you're not going to end up crippling yourself. The other good thing about it being 5x5 is it's enough to undergo a slight bit of overloading of the muscles, but it's not enough. Say you're doing like 10 sets of 10 where maybe like 40% of those repetitions are the technique isn't perfect, and what happens is over time that just slowly wears the body down. Whereas with this, if you can do 5 reps with perfect technique 5 times, that's it, you're done, you're out, you come back and you do it again, and that's more beneficial than a load of messy bad technique reps of just trying to get the weight A to B. With this though, I would say the workout is good as a core base. So if you only have your 50 minutes to an hour and you need to get in and do something, I would ideally pick these exercises. But if you had a bit more time that day, I would choose to also include some assistant exercises to help that along, and that stops your body from specializing in certain areas and also helps with things like overall range of mobility and all these sort of other exercises. And also it means you're using the rest of the gym as well, because other exercises are fun, I think. And lastly, depending on where you are in your regime, I would maybe change it up a little bit. So either maybe for a period of time you change it from 5x5 to 8x8 or even 10x10, just so you can focus on getting a little bit more, pack on a little more muscle. And what this will then do is when you go back to the 5x5, ideally you've got a little more muscle to utilize, so you should be able to lift a little bit heavier weights once you get back up strength wise, and vice versa. Go down to your 1 rep max so you know absolutely where you are. You can set that as a goal every month or 2 months, just to see whether you've pushed yourself beyond where you were before, and use that as a goal line. Just changing those two things up will allow you to cause more stress on the body and allow it more force of adaptation. So you're constantly basically almost scaring the body into adapting to new situations, and by consistently controlling the alternating of it, you should be able to find that you make both strength and hypertrophy gains faster. So this program is perfect as a base, and then it allows you to work off out of it. So it's basically, there's your foundation. Do what you want with it. As long as you do the foundation, have fun, do whatever you want, do whatever you need to do, and then bam, you should hopefully not look like this anymore. That's basically it. I have to admit, the last couple of weeks I have been probably very lazy on just doing kind of montage videos of weekends, and that's not why I made this channel. I made this channel so I can get better at speaking to stuff. So this is my trial at that. Hope it was good, hope it was enjoyable. If not, and I thought I'd speak a little bit clearer and learn how to use the camera better. So that was my first one. It's almost like a presentation. This might look a little dull, but I thought I would give it a go. So if you enjoyed it, hey, tell me. If you didn't enjoy it, also tell me, because that's how you improve at the end of the day. Okay, I'm out. Bye.